Welcome to another edition of the channel's Mailbag. So what is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is the part of the channel that you guys actually control. It's based on comments, questions, general feedback that you guys leave either on the YouTube channel, the website, or through one of my social media feeds. Mailbag contains what I think the answer is, what I think my view of the comment is, or sometimes, I just throw it out to the wider audience and say, what do you guys think? That's what Mailbag is. So let's get in to the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. This comment question comes from David Bone. In response to Nautilus is a cut down Korg Kronos cloning the Muse Receptor Quattro. Mailbag I did in June 2025. And David writes, I agree cloning the Receptor is essential since support is limited to online resources and forums. I'm having problems trying to install other VSTs. They work fine on my Windows PC, yes, and 32-bit. Pity it doesn't work with the 64-bit plugins. This is one of the criticisms of the Receptor while it was actually in production. Many well-known artists had to get Muse support to help them load VSTs onto the platform. Essentially, what you're doing is taking a VST designed to run on a Windows platform and loading it onto a Linux platform, running a form of emulation. I never delved into the full technical elements of how this actually works, but others have, and they have for certain VSTs, some of the big VST farms have kind of come up with, this is how you get it to work. You have to do this, then you have to modify this file, then you have to do something else and modify that file, and then how you press that, it all kind of works. But you really shouldn't have to do that if it's meant to be a VST player. It should literally be load the VST in, because VSTs, at the end of the day, the idea of them was to make them universal, so you could just plug them into various VST players. Now, most people use their DAW as a VST player, but there were a number of standalone players. I think many of them have disappeared, but there were quite a lot of standalone VST players a few years back where you could just load the player up. You didn't need a DAW. You just load the synthesizer up into the player, routed the MIDI, and away you went. But sadly, a lot of that knowledge went when Muse went down because, they just disappeared, and the entire knowledge base disappeared at the same time, which is a bit of a shame. Next comment question comes from Mr. Darley, and this was in response to Korg T1. Where did you get your screen? A mailbag I did in April 2025. Mr. Darley writes, there are places that sell replacement LED screens of the type of LCDs that are used in several Roland, Korg and Yamahas of that age. Same display in the SY series as the T-series. I also have an old T3 that requires a flashlight to see the screen. Theoretically, it's only the backlight that needs exchanging, but as I understand it, it's not so easy to get the backlight replaced correctly. It's not so long ago that I read somewhere that sold a competitive blue LED replacement kit that is much more bright than those old LCDs and was made to just exchange the old LCD with a new replacement LED. I was thinking of reviving my T3 and getting one of those USB PCM cards, but at the moment, the Korg cards is not available. It's pretty cool, not cheap, but you can load masses of samples into the PCM card via USB from the PC or Mac, and then plug it into both the Wave Station, the M1 and T-series PCM slot. I can never remember the company that makes it, but they come from Germany. Just remember, Espencraft featured it a couple of years ago, right as the pandemic was on, and they were all dried out of chips they used for manufacturing the cards. Funny enough, in terms of the screen, I had the same problem with my Korg T3. Although the screen was showing signs of breaking down, at the time the backlight had gone. So I put a white on blue OLED into the keyboard, and it has made such a major difference to the way the T3, sorry, not the T3, the T1 operates. It was literally chalk and cheese in terms of the display. The blue on the white on blue is so readable, and it's readable from multiple angles, whether you're standing up, sitting down, or whether you're to one side or the other. It really, really made such a difference. Now, regarding the USB PC M cards, I have actually owned one of these for quite a few years, but I've done actually little with it. The T1 was in storage for a number of years because this place didn't exist, and the M1 was also in storage, so I never really got round to having a proper play with the card itself. There will be some videos coming up towards the end of this year where that card is displayed, and we end up doing some stuff with it. But that's not for several months, or it won't be appearing on the YouTube channel for several months yet.